So recently I went to Japan and I've heard so much about it that just going there was surreal. I had actually been before when I was about 8 years old, but we'll get onto that later. The best part about my trip was that it was free. A company called Salon Films, with a grant from UNESCO, who are an arm of the United Nations, actually flew me out there to cover a conference that was happening. The conference was really strange and everyone who was there spoke English, except for the event staff who only spoke Japanese, so that caused a few interesting problems. They had stalls and workshops showing all the different things which people had done to help with sustainable development. The video competition that I won, and was my reason for being there, was also themed around education for sustainable development, and I've linked it in the description. In one of these workshops, I learnt how to do the mosquito clap, where you have to go zzz, grab your mosquito, kill your mosquito, and you had to do that anytime anyone said anything good. And then we made a poster with crayons. No, really, this is what happened at this international conference. The conference was about ESD, Education for Sustainable Development, which basically means just not ruining the planet for future generations. And UNESCO have been teaching people how to live a more sustainable life for about 10 years now, so they just wanted to celebrate it. Alright, so the best part of the conference didn't actually have anything to do with the competition at all. I met this guy who I saw him walking around with a camera, so I asked him what he was up to. And it turned out that he was filming a documentary about climate change. The guy's name was Ignacio, and he's this really charismatic, handsome Argentinian man, and he was just a living stereotype, pretty much. He told me that he had plans to interview the environmental ministers for Japan and Israel, and that he needed an assistant for that. And then he asked me if I wanted to be his assistant. And I just said yes, because why not? And then I had an incredibly bizarre experience 2 hours later when we were supposed to do the interview. I met up with Ignacio outside of the offices of the ministers, and we waited for the personal assistant of the Japanese minister to come out and see us. Moments before she was supposed to come out and see us, Ignacio realizes that he doesn't have a second tripod for me to use, so he goes to the press room to get one. I'm left all alone while he goes and gets that, and the personal assistant of the Minister for Japan comes out and sees me, asks me when I want to come in and do the filming. I try to explain to her that I'm only the assistant, but that doesn't go down too well. She wants to know when Ignacio is going to be back. I say I don't know when he's going to be back. Everybody starts getting very stressed out, and eventually Ignacio does return, but with a whole Japanese TV crew in tow. We all go inside together, and the Japanese TV crew give me a tripod so that I can film Ignacio whilst he's doing the interview, and they tell us that our interview has to be 16 minutes instead of 20 minutes, so that they can tag along at the end even though they didn't make a reservation. They keep thanking us for this opportunity, and their presenter is some kind of big academic or something, and she keeps bragging about how famous she is and how she's the best in her field, although I was never quite sure what that was. Eventually we're able to go in and we're able to see the minister, and the TV crew all head to the side of the room and just wait their turn. And Ignacio's interview, which was planned to last 20 minutes, lasts exactly 20 minutes. But about 15 minutes in, the Japanese TV crew start talking amongst themselves, start whispering to each other and giving me evil looks across the room. They start trying to whisper things to me across the room, but the camera's rolling, so I just want it to be quiet, so I just go over there and do that so that one of them can whisper in my ear. And the presenter comes along and says really angrily in my ear, "You've taken too long. Because of you, we can't do our interview now." And then just goes and sulks in the corner for the rest of the interview. I don't know what else to say, so I just shrug. Had the cameras not been rolling, I probably would have told her that this was our interview anyway, but I just wanted quiet at that point. We finish up our interview, and Ignacio goes to talk to the Minister for Israel, The Japanese TV crew get their interview anyway, because they have some sort of link with the minister, and he's alright with them being a little bit later than he thought. I have to just sit in the room awkwardly and wait for Ignacio to get back, but he doesn't get back for another 10 minutes, maybe. And when he does come back, he is not happy at all. The Japanese TV crew finish their interview, and I give them back their tripod. They thank us for all sorts of stuff, and then Ignacio tells me that we're not doing the interview with the Israeli minister anymore. I ask him why, but he doesn't really want to tell me. And then the Japanese TV crew tried to muscle in on another interview he has tomorrow with the head of UNESCO, but he just sort of manages to shake them off, and then we got a taxi together to Nagoya station. On our way out, Ignacio reveals to me that the Japanese TV team said that they'd only give him the tripod if they could get an interview with him, and just sort of bullied him into it, and that the Israeli minister's PA was very unhappy with him being 10 minutes late, and even though Ignacio had tried to explain to him that it was the Japanese TV team's fault, he didn't care. He told Ignacio that he shouldn't contact the minister ever again, and that he would never be allowed to do another interview with him ever again because of his unprofessional behaviour, and then was pretty much kicked out. I wasn't massively surprised by this, because when I'd been given my name tag for the event, I'd been next to the PA for the Israeli minister, who had had a big go at all of the staff because they wanted the Israeli minister to show his passport. He just kept yelling at them, "Oh, you expect the minister to come through here and just be like everybody else? He's not like everybody else." He was a bit full of himself and his job. It was a great experience, and I definitely want to continue trying to work in TV and media, but if every day was like that, it would just be too intense for me, I think. Everybody yelling and having their own agenda coming together. It was not a pleasant environment to be in. The conference was an amazing experience, and honestly I didn't enjoy all that much of it, but I think that a lot of that was due to jet lag. But I got to have an award ceremony for myself and be part of a Hollywood documentary with Ignacio and make a video for the conference, so my CV did pretty well from the experience. I'll be doing another video about my experiences in Japan outside of the conference, so subscribe if you want to see that. And Ignacio, if you're out there and somehow you see this, I've lost your business card, so please get in contact with me somehow. Comment or something, I don't know.